On this day, one looks to the east. The monks in the east tend to be under the protection and guidance of St. Basil, for he wrote the long rules, still followed to this day, and they are sometimes referred to as Basilian monks. In the West, one looks to St. Benedict. The monastic life of the East has remained pure and to some extent unchanged, especially in some areas. I was deeply moved when I went to Meteora. These meteors, so called, are centers of monastic life in the heart of Greece. And perched on these rock formations are old monasteries. I happened to be climbing that on the 6th of August of all days in 1972. It was between heaven and earth. And 3 hours of liturgy on that Sunday morning was truly divine. Referring to Holy Mass, they talk about the divine liturgy, and in the East they still use the liturgy of St. Basil to this day. On Mount Athos, the divine liturgy is in its fullness every day, and there monastic life has certainly remained pure and uncontaminated. I remember actually way back in 1974 being touched by a month spent at La Trappe, but also previously by a fortnight spent at another trappe closer to home, Caldy, which was an island, and it's still there, a monastic island, which looks back to the Celtic past. And these had something in common. They were quiet and removed. Quiet and removed. And plenty of time was given to liturgy, well executed. We would do well to return to the desert and also to look to our sources. But there's a whole school of spirituality in the monastic life. And to this day, in novitiates, one tends to look to the great authors. One cannot get away from the desert fathers. That is the monastic source. Of course, it goes back to St. John the Baptist, Elijah, Elisha, all those who heard the still small voice. But we need to be careful that in the interests of adapting and attracting, we don't lose what we have. For actually, young men are attracted by what attracted souls always. God, the absolute, the stillness of intimacy with Him, for which the desert is the protection. And one must be careful not too easily to think that we can take on much of the world and combine the two. For the truth of the matter is that the world, being more noisy, tends to prevail. I remember actually at La Trappe being somewhat irritated by the introduction of television, and somebody actually did point out to me that, ironically, in another Cistercian house in France, not of the Trappist reform, but of the old block, the original Cistercians, they hadn't introduced the television. I noticed that also at Haute-Rive there's no television and very little internet. But the island of Les Reims in the south, precisely of the old Cistercians, has not wanted television. And it is important to be careful, because once these instruments come in, a lot goes out. For the distraction and the hyped up mode that comes into a place where the television is destroys the stillness of the desert from within. Noise. God bless his places that truly give all back to him who alone has rights over the absolute. We cannot serve both God and noise. O solitude, made all of being here upon a moment rested. Blessed fair sound, all of a nothing made. Here all is near and far, far, far away. For we are bound by words on altars writ, and we may not, as quickly as we came, tread yet again to this fair paradise not quite forgot. For bliss, perhaps on earth, is made of pain. Yet if, good master, this sweet maiden plea that calls to orient lands be hither borne by workings of a gentle majesty that waited long on calcule of this morn, then bid it be, and I shall crack in peace the shackles of a noise that shall now cease. Agios oteos, agios ischiros, agios athanatos, eleis onimas.